Hello, hello. Just stopping in for a quick hello. I'm bringing it up on my phone so I can actually see what's happening here. Hello, Felicia. Just bringing it up on my phone. Hello, Kevin. It has been a while. I'm everywhere else. I'm on YouTube. I've been on YouTube. I've been on Reels. There's some Reels out. I've definitely been posting some Reels and energy updates and stuff, but lives, no. Um, time, time. Everything has been time. There just has not been time for lives. By the time I'm done with my day and my life, I don't have time for a live. So, um, but I've been very busy, very busy. And as you can see, I haven't had time to get my hair done either. Hello, Emma. How are you? Sweet Emma. Emma's my cousin. Um, and so, yeah, I've been dancing through this or playing my way through, playing. I've been working my way through this eclipse energy. So the solar eclipse was today. We also have we have the fall equinox happening. So tomorrow is fall equinox, and I literally witnessed the leaping from one season to the other hit about 4 o'clock today. It was so crazy. I was outside. I was outside, and um, when I was coming across the yard, I had decided my friend had a rose bush, and she didn't want it to just die. She had nowhere to plant it. So I brought it back from Slave Lake to here, and we planted it in our yard. And so I'm coming back from planting it in the yard, and the wind changed. All of a sudden the wind came up, and we've had this big gust of wind come in, and just like that, the energy shifted, the season began to shift, and it's been like 28, 29, 30 degrees, like 26 is probably the lowest. Like we've been very, very hot weather in September here, which I've been loving. So when I'm not working, I'm outside trying to get all the outside stuff done. And it's been so crazy. And just like that, I could feel that shift of fall equinox coming in. Mother Earth works with her cycles. She don't rush anything. Everything happens in due time. And we can learn a lot from from moving with the cycles of life and trusting the cycles of life and allowing space for just the natural cycles to happen instead of rushing and pushing and going like all or nothing, because we get all or nothing, right? It's like we get so all or nothing. It's like September the 1st hits. Oh my God, I got to get my sweaters out. I got to put my sweaters on. It's like we're not even through summer season. It's not fall. It's just that things begin again, but it's not fall. And so just witnessing that shift today, and it went from 29 degrees. It was so hot on my deck earlier that I was staining the walls on our rooftop deck, and I had to stop because the stain was drying as fast as I was trying to roll it. That's how hot it was. And so I went outside and did other work, but then at like 4 o'clock, it went from 29:30, and it dropped just like that in a matter of minutes. And it just went right down to about 22. And I went, oh, all of a sudden it smells like fall. All of a sudden you could feel the shift in the energy, and you could feel the shift and moving from the end of summer and into the fall. And of course we're moving from Virgo, which is very earth, the element of earth, and into Libra, and Libra is the element of air. And so we are really feeling the shift. And of course, that eclipse energy has been playing a big role in how we've been showing up, how we've been feeling, what we've been experiencing. It plays out. Um, and so, yeah, it's been a lot. Fall is your favorite time of the season. That's because you're in Florida. You're in Florida. You don't actually get a real winter. Not like here. Fall is very hard. Lexi says fall is very hard for me. My wife passed in October a few years ago. The shift always sets me off, right? Learning to slow down and let myself adjust to it. Yes, I am not a fall person at all. I don't do fall well. I'm like it is everything is rotting and decaying. I don't like it. Like and it is such an I don't know. I'm with you, Lexi. Different experience, different whys, but my relationship with fall, and I did experience a real big personal loss in my life back years ago in the fall, and but mine was in earlier fall, but it was just like I don't know. Fall is just I don't see the beauty in fall. But I accept it. I accept it. It is what it is. We have to go through it. We can't avoid it. It is a part of the process. And so, but the shift, we need this shift. Yes, Jackie, we're ready for this shift, right? We really are. This is bringing about some big changes. I don't care for it either, right? I know I can't be the only one. Like I love having bronzy skin and sunshine and hot weather, and I only like one season. Hello, everyone. Um, okay, so we've just been letting people join in. Yeah, you struggle with the season. Um, I know Emma, and Emma, I know because Emma's my cousin, so I know Emma is an Aries. You're a fire sign. We are fire signs, and so if you're a fire sign, you probably not all fire signs, but as an Aries, is that summer, that heat, it fills us up. We get that warmth, we get that fire energy that fuels us. It prepares us for what is coming next. The colors are pretty for as long as they last. We um the colors are the yeah, the colors are okay. The colors are pretty. Yes, I always find the upside. But once fall hits, once I felt that shift happening today, I was quite ready to go into fall. Like before that, no, it wasn't fall. And I'm like, it's not fall. Don't act like it's fall. I don't like even walking through the stores and seeing all the fall. I'm like, it's not fall. It's not fall until the seasons change. And so and then when the shift happened today about 4 o'clock here, I could feel the change, and I could feel my body just kind of make peace with it. I was just making peace with what was coming, what's happening. And so what I did ceremonially was I create little clay figurines, and I just grab some clay and I just mold it in a matter of minutes, and it forms into like a woman or some sort of shape. And I took this clay figurine that I had been holding on to, and she was called my past. And I took her and I buried her underneath the hole, in the hole that I had dug for the rose bush, and just releasing the past and just making peace. And I'm like, I just make peace with the past. Whatever is of the past, I make peace with. I make peace with that past, wherever and whatever it brings us from here. This is a new day. And so there was this sense of peace. It's peace day. Is it? See? Right. And I'm just like, oh, so I was ready for peace and really making peace. Um, and the other thing is I'm going to ask this question. Who here will go out and intentionally do some sort of ceremony for the fall equinox, like do some sort of celebration or some sort of ritual. What do you do? What do you do to really honor the changing of the seasons and the shifts that are happening? Um, and for me, like I said, I took that figurine, that clay figurine that I had created, and I've been holding on to her for a while. And I'm like, it's time to let you go and burying her and just releasing that past. And it's like the past is no longer here. It doesn't exist. Um, Memories are here. We hold on to memories, but just releasing that. And so, what do you do? What do you do? It's been really hot in Ontario as well. And your mom is on her way back to Alberta. I think seen you wrote here. Uh, yes, Rebecca. Right. Love the here in Alberta. I'm here in Alberta as well, Rebecca. And I'm in Camrose County. And and where I live in the valley, it is, yeah, it's beautiful. But this is going to be my first winter in the valley and in the county. And I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned for the kind of what winter looks like here because I have not experienced it. So everything else about living where I'm living has been very intimidating, not fearful, but intimidating for me. And so it really has been quite the journey. And hello, everyone who's joining in. Welcome. I wanted to stop in because I have not been in a while. Um, Am I feeling up to any big readings? Probably not. But I did want to stop in. I wanted to stop in. I wanted to check in. I want to see what everyone's up to. I think I may. I don't want to commit to it yet. I may tomorrow evening be doing a ceremony, a fall equinox ceremony. And I may be recording that. So if I'm going to be doing the fall equinox ceremony, I will post a link and so that people can join in. So that people can join in if they want to join in. Angela, not teaching this year, but in school we would discuss fall changes and say goodbye to summer, then do a fall craft. That's always such a good idea. It really teaches kids about the endings and beginnings and about making those changes, about saying goodbye to something and welcoming in that new. I made a meal and we feasted today for the equinox. Also, my birthday was yesterday. Oh, happy birthday! Uh, I'm making a meal for and with my ancestors and feeding the spirit of family. Beautiful. That's my um, so tomorrow I create the feast. I'm actually making a soup this year, stirring in all the love, the joy, and the healing that is needed, and calling upon the ancestors for the healing that is that will be needed for family and for friends and for anyone who needs it. And so I also do a prayer circle, and I will create a prayer circle, and I place anyone. I always get requests of people asking to be put in my prayer circles. So I will be lighting a prayer circle tomorrow evening if anyone wants to be placed in there. Let's go back. Felicia. Oh, she's supposed to leave Saturday if all goes as supposed. Oh, okay. Jennifer. I love that. I think I'll do the same thing. Going through a separation and need to let go. Burying something significant resonates big time. Yes, exactly, Jennifer. It is something that I do on a regular basis. Another to add to that for you is, Jennifer, write a letter. Like write a goodbye letter. Um, Write a goodbye letter and bury it with whatever it is that you're going to bury. I always tend to take mine and put them somewhere near roots And so it is. I just feel that if I take it and I put it with the roots, is that it transmutes, and what transmutes back is wisdom and love, and that we give it to the guides, we give it to the ancestors, we just let it go. Um, and because too often we live in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and what can I do? Overthinking the process of change. And change happens with or without us. And sometimes those changes may not be changes that we want or changes that we're expecting, but change happens, and none of us get to escape the changes that happens in this lifetime, including the losses and the ends of the losses of loved ones or relationships, or those change, or the endings of relationships, and then uh, welcoming in a new beginning. That is key as well, Jennifer, is really welcoming in a new beginning. Bury a seed of hope. Place in there an apple seed, an orange seed. Don't have to be something that you're going to expect a tree to grow from, but just take something that you plant as a seed of hope and faith. And that with hope and faith, that something really good and something powerful will rise from the pain, from the hurt, from the change, from the loss. Plant the seed of hope. And this is why then all winter it sits dormant, and then in the spring or during the whole changes of the season, it brings about something new. So that I can give you. uh, let's see. Oh, here's another one. Good. Yeah, grow in a different kind of love. Used to write a letter to my future mate, to Barry, and he came to me. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I often would write and bury, or write and burn. The other thing, and I recorded a video about this today, but it would not go up. So today I I made a new vision board, and I have not made a vision board in a long time. I do teach vision board classes and workshops and stuff as well. But before my back surgery, I took my old vision board and I crumpled it all up and I stomped on it and I threw it in the garbage. And I was so mad. And not that some of the things on the vision board hadn't come through, but that how at the time, how all the things that were all the things that were working out, and all of a sudden fizzled and faded. Like my life had taken such a pivotal turn and change, and between the whole COVID experience and the loss of business and finances, and the loss of my health, all that, I took the vision board and I crumpled it up and I stomped on it and I swore on it, and I just like, I'm done. I'm not, I don't want this vision board. I'm not even the person who created that vision board. She's long gone. And that's not even my same dreams and hopes anymore. I don't even care about some of the things that are on there anymore. Well, today, a few weeks ago, I went and bought a new board. And instead of a whiteboard, I got a blackboard this time. And it sat in my dining room area for like the past few weeks. And I'm just like, when the time is right, I'm going to create. But I did put a writing up on top, and then 3 little roses. I painted 3 roses and then I laid it aside. Well, I woke up this morning, today was the day, and I start to work with that vision board. And I realized I was so quickly just going to stick stuff on there. Oh, I like this, or I like that. No, no, intention. Be freaking intentional. Set those dreams and goals with intention. Like, really be intentional about what it is that you're asking for. Really pay attention to what it is that you want to manifest in your life. It's so simple. So if you're single and you're like, oh, I want a man in my life, that's it. That's it. You just want a man or a woman, like, you just want someone to be in your life. Really? That's it. You have no criteria. You don't remember what you have been through in the past. Do you really want to repeat that shit again? Really? So if you're looking for a relationship, you're single, you better be specific about what it is that you're seeking and searching and looking for, and what it is that you don't want to return to your life, what you don't want to come back to your life again. And so being intentional, now that wasn't my scenario on my vision board, but there was things on my vision board that I first was like, oh, I can't ask for that. That's just too much. Or that's going to appear like I'm bragging. Or I'm like, no, no, like, I want that, but I don't want to achieve it or get it the same way that it would have been in my life before. And one of them was a vehicle. I don't own a vehicle. For those who don't know, I sold my vehicle a few years ago and went without my own personal vehicle. We have my husband's truck is there that he had before we got married, and so his truck is there, and I don't have. And then my father-in-law gave us a secondhand vehicle he had bought for us to be able to drive, but I sold my very beautiful truck a few years ago and went without a vehicle. So if you're always wondering why, besides the animals, why you don't see me on the road traveling around so much, it's because I don't personally have a vehicle. I made that choice. And so putting on a vehicle on that vision board, and looking at the vision board and just saying, I want that vehicle, but I don't want the loan. I don't want a loan. I don't want to owe money for that vehicle. I want to, what that vehicle is telling me is that in order for that to come into my life, is that my hope and faith is knowing that I will be able to purchase a vehicle, and that I'll be able to purchase a vehicle at a, without coming at a cost of big interest rates or having to owe a pile of money. I'm going to have the cash for it. I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know where. That's in God's hands, the source, creator, whatever we want to call it. It's not in my hands. It's there. But I have the wisdom, the gifts, and the knowing to be able to take action when required. And so that's intention, right? It's that I'm not going to just stick it on a board and say, oh, I'm going to go get that because I can go get a loan. No, no. And that's not how. Or so being very intentional, and this is something about the shift and the moving forward, is really being aware of our words, of our choices, of our decisions. It's crazy windy out there, I just want to say. Like, literally, we have not had rain at all in September, and when the shift just happened at 4 p.m., now I think it's going to rain. Like, that's crazy. Hello, everyone. Exactly. Right? It's like you want to build before you build. So in more than existing, everything in more than existing is all based on the premises that we build a blueprint, is that we build before we build, right? We create the dream, we build and create the structure of our lives before we actually build our lives. Is that we lay out the foundation, we strengthen the foundation, we do all the foundation work, we get to who we need to be. So I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to go back to the relationship thing. So if you're asking for a specific person, and what you really don't want to repeat again, is you have to remember that you also have to level up. Is that you have to really strengthen your own foundation, your own core beliefs, be strong in who you are so that you don't lose you in relationship, so that you don't morph into somebody else, that you stay true to who you are and you maintain that within yourself. that you have your own sense of self, own sense of identity, and your own sense of values of who you really are, because it matters. It really, truly matters. And so, even sometimes when you have to say, I'm not doing that, or you got to stand your ground, it may come at a cost. It may cost you, that somebody else not wanting to follow along, but you can't lose yourself, right? It's such a it can be very difficult. It feels hard, but it feels very challenging, but it's only because it's new, right? It's only because it's something that we're not used to doing. And when we start to stand in that truth, it's amazing what begins to unfold in our lives, because then we make room for all the right things. And that could be jobs, it could be your careers, it could be any of those things that are happening. And if you've noticed, this girl's been sharing some more reels. Yesterday morning, I shared 3 reels. I should have just did one video, but Facebook likes reels for some reason. And so I turned them into reels, and I was talking about my books. And so, yeah, I shared some information there. Okay. Anyone else with some rituals? Yes, yes. I'm telling you, the letter works. The other thing that I teach in one of my courses is that I teach to write eulogies, to write your own eulogy. And this is not morbid. This is not for down the road. This is for the versions of you that you're letting die. The version of you that may have always been the pleaser. The version of you that's always lived by the words and the identity of what somebody else called you. Um, one of the eulogies that I wrote in great detail and with great love and compassion for her was for who I called the fat Corrie. She called me like she was my shadow. So she was the aspect of the shadow. And I'm like, damn, girl, you were powerful. You were a no bullshit kind of girl. You took no shit. You stood up. You protected people. You spoke up. You spoke out. Uh, and you were always defending me. You were always there for me. And in those realizations of writing that out about myself, I realized the walls of protection that I had built around myself, and about the how much I didn't say in the areas of where it mattered the most. I could be very outspoken to in the public world, but when it came to the places where I needed to stand up, I didn't stand up. And it's because I I didn't know my personal worth and value. And I didn't want to disturb the peace, right? I was trying to keep the peace, but by trying to keep the peace never ever creates peace ever. And in writing that letter, in writing that eulogy for myself and really telling her how great she was, but it was that she could go now. I don't need that. I didn't need her to protect me, that I have found my way in this world. I have matured, I've grown, and that I'm no longer just going to just keep the peace, right? It's that I'm going to make peace and not just always be trying to create peace. Um, right. And just those past versions of yourself and just letting that go, right in the eulogy, right? Yeah, makes sense. Or for, if you look back, I'm just going to go back to even like Lexi's story, like the version of you, Lexi, that like the version of you that would have gone with your wife, like the version of you that would have left with your wife, and that part of you, and the parts of us that are not really meant to come back, right? It's the parts of us that grow from the experience or evolve from the experience, but it's like a sprouting of it. So a tree has its one solid center, and then it sprouts, and if you cut the tree off, cut the tree down, and if the roots are still good and we're still rooted, then new sprouts begin to grow. And so it's new sprouts. The big tree is gone. That part of the tree is gone, but there is new life. There's new little sprouts and what sprouts out. Um, and so, yeah, that's one thing that I like to teach in one of my healing classes that I teach. I created that a few years ago and start working with it, and it was all because Spirit had told me, guided me to do it for myself, to do it for myself first. So if it helps you in any way, do it. Um, Canning and preparing for winter. I personally love fall time because I love canning. So we have all the goodies over the winter. I guess it's preserving summer and fall. Yes. So, okay. So that I do love, right? I loved harvesting this year. I've never planted. And so, yeah, Carla, but I love the can. I loved canning things. I love that sense. I always would do the apples and make apple butter. So, yes, I'm with you there. And it is, I think that's such a healing, I think that's such a closure and such an honoring, but also such a way to preserve the good memories, preserve the good things, right? I really like that idea. I never really did anything for myself aside from her funeral and acknowledged it. I think that would be very lightened healing. Yes, exactly. Yes, absolutely. I think Lexi, as soon as I started to think about that, you popped in my mind, and I really think that would really serve you very well. Yeah. Um, Another thing is actually bottling things up. Um, is putting like notes in a bottle and putting them in the ground as well. Um, or if you have a pond, is kind of setting something adrift, right? Setting it adrift in the water. There's just so many different ways. Cooking is powerful. If you cook, cooking is powerful. Be careful of the emotions you put into your cooking and the thoughts if you're going to serve it to other people. You want to make sure that you're passing on some joy and love there. Um, yeah. So I don't know. There's just a lot about the shifting, and now that it's natural, now that fall is here and the equinox is happening, my arm is hurting. I was out digging up old dried up uh, weeds and stuff that were in my one of my beds that didn't use, one of my flower beds. Um, and so yes, um, being ready to move with this. You're welcome, Melissa. I'm glad these little tips can help people. Sometimes we just don't know. We don't know until we know, right? We don't know until we know. And when we know, then we're then it's up to us to when we take action or when we proceed with that. Um, mm, do you know what? I didn't bring a deck of cards over to this desk at all. I didn't bring a deck of cards. I don't have a deck of cards with me. I don't. Oh, wait, no, I do. I got the, I got to want to know a secret cards here. I'll pull one of those in a minute. So, hello, hello, hello. Okay. Where else are we? Where else? Okay. So the equinox season has now ending and we are moving into Libra. And I don't know if everyone understands the power of the elements and the elements that come with each season. You are more than your zodiac sign. If you read your daily horoscopes and you read like your sun sign, your that is only a little aspect of you. That's where your ego exists. It is where it's where your persona exists, parts of the personality. You're also motivated by that, but it is not all of who you are. It is very important to know your moon sign, and if you got your birth time, then your ascendant sign. Saturn. If you're feeling kind of the crunch um, of past thing hurts and stuff coming back up, is we've got Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded healer that has been, it's in Aries, been in Aries for since 2018, and it's going to be there for another couple years. I'm in Aries. I've been definitely up and down on these healing journeys. But it is in retrograde right now. So it kind of brings the past back up for us. It has us revisiting. It could have us having little spats and arguments, and having similar conversations coming back up in relationship. That is just like a curveball, and says, I thought we dealt with that, but we didn't. We might have spoke about it, but did we resolve it? So it brings about resolutions and changes, and it's kind of the medicine. Sometimes that's the medicine that we need. The medicine that we need is the antidote is to actually see something and resolve it. Is to actually have to face something and not be running from something, like the like what is the analogy? Cows run from the storm, buffaloes run into it, right? And cows will keep running into it, will keep running away from it, and don't realize they're just going with the storm, whereas buffaloes will run through the storm and realize that the storm is, they're going to get to the end of the storm. Um, and so sometimes we really have to face those things, and the antidote, the medicine that we need, is buried in us having to really revisit something and resolve it, and finally resolve it, so that it's like, so that we're no longer just putting band-aids on things in our lives, that we're actually doing the healing work that needs to be done, so that we're actually seeing the results, productivity, action, change begins to happen. And so it's not here, the Chiron in Aries energy is not here to ruin our lives. It is here to kind of resolve the unresolved. Sorry, I was thirsty. Um, and then we also have the Saturn dipping back into the last degrees of Pisces, and uh, Saturns are kind of Mr. Serious. It's like the shit we got to take serious. It's the part of us that says pay attention, follow, do what needs to be done. There's no playing around. And it's back into the last degrees of Pisces, as it's kind of, and then it goes back into Aries, and when it goes back into Aries, it has to be there. We have to, it changes every few years. But Aries is like the little rebel. It's like the fast moving energy. Saturn is slow, methodical. Everything takes time. We go through 2 Saturn returns in our lives. And those two, and if you live to be very, very old, you'll probably have 3. But your 2 big Saturn returns that happen are the end of your 20s into the beginning of 30s, end of 50s, your ending of your 50s, going into your early 60s. And those are pivotal turning points. And it all happens. So it takes that period of time from, say, 29, 30 until you're 60, 59, 60, in order for something to fully complete its cycle. And it's like in Aries, it's like, I just want to go, just want to do, take action, get moving. And then it's like, let's look at things. Let's slow this down. Perspectives. What are we looking at? What do we need to change? And so it's always kind of that push pull. So you may be feeling some of that push pull. You may be going through a change. You may have retired. You may be changing positions, jobs. And then you're like, or you just started something new and you want everything right now. And you want to be adjusted to your new life right now. It's like, well, how come I feel this way? Or how come? It's like, because everything takes freaking time. A cake don't bake in the oven in 2 minutes. A cake takes time. But while the cake is baking in the oven, do you know how good it smells? right? Really stopping to really smell the aroma of something that is brewing, something that is baking, something that is coming to enrich our lives. And so there is changes that are coming that really enrich our lives. And so we can be a part of the change by doing the work on ourselves so that we can really step into the things that enrich our lives. And what is that really is going to be? What is it that we're hoping will enrich our lives? And some of those things that enrich our lives is knowing that we can still live a really good life on the other side of pain, grief, of pain, hurt, anything that encompasses our grief journey, our pain story, our hurt story, is that misery that we put ourselves through becomes of our own doing, whereas all the things that can enrich our lives already still exist. And it exists because we still have the divine, we still have the higher energy, we still have those, there's joy still exists, happiness, beautiful lives, beautiful experiences, beautiful things coming into our lives still exist. And we really miss those and miss out on those when we get so tangled and caught up in only seeing what is not there, and where we, and denying ourselves the opportunity to live again. Ellie, it feels like my body has been playing the pain from 10 years ago this week. Yes, you would. And of course, honoring where you are today, Ellie, in your journey, and and Mr. Grady, and the day he the day he returned home. And so yes, so your body is probably, it's 10 years, right? Um and so you're probably releasing some of that pain, or it's being released through you, um as you're starting to find a sense of I guess I don't know if the word joy, um, a sense of light, a sense of knowing that the light is forever shining, and that light is flowing through you, and the light of the loved ones, and the light of love brings about deep healing when we open up and we say yes. We say yes. We invite spirit in to work through us and for us, for our highest good and for healing. And our loved ones are a part of that. They are a part of the medicine that helps us heal. That is the beauty of being a healer and a medium, a seer, is knowing and recognizing the power of spirit, and how spirit works through us and for us. And if we open up and we allow spirit to work through us, the healing that transpires, the healing that happens, and the the love, the love that is given to us, and that love that comes in. Um, and so, yeah, I believe, Ellie, I believe spirit is working through you in big ways. I just want to say that. Okay. So these are my want to know a secret to a life of more than existing. These are daily devotion cards. They're daily affirmation cards. You get up in the day, in the morning, you have these in your they're like a little matchbox box, and you pull out one of these every day, and I can guarantee you it'll be like you're on a live with Corrie. Because these are my cards, and these are written by my oracle through me. You're very welcome, Ellie. Um, Card number 34. There are consequences of cheating yourself out of your truth. Justifying dishonest behavior is not okay. This is for everyone. This card is for all of us. Cheating yourself out of dishonest behavior is not okay, even if it's your own. Cheating another out of truth does not make a wrong right. It is essential to always be true to yourself and your values. Don't let the fear of failure or disappointment lead you down the path of cheating yourself out of your own needs. Every action has consequences. Radical, kind honesty is a virtue. Couldn't be more appropriate. This is how we started the conversation. This was a part of the conversation, and it's a part of the journey of when you begin the journey of being honest with yourself, is that you recognize all of the half-hearted truths or the lies that we have accepted as truth that we tell ourselves. And it's so easy for us to tell ourselves a lie and pass it off as a truth, but it is an illusion. It is not really a truth. And honesty is something that allows us to stop cheating ourselves out of living our best life, living our most happiest of life, our most fulfilling life, and our most healed life. And also, you know, cheating another out of truth does not make a wrong a right. And so sometimes those honesties is having to be honest with what we're feeling, with what we're experiencing. And I always say this to my husband: you came along at the period of time in my life of where you get the version who has to say what she's feeling. And so in other words, I will say to my husband, you know what, I could be totally wrong, but this is how I'm feeling, or this is how this makes me feel. I'm not saying I'm right. It's not an opinion about anything. It's not even a judgment. It is my body is reacting and my mind is creating a story. And if my body is reacting and my mind is creating a story, it means one is telling a truth and the other one is not. And I need to discover which truth that is and where that truth is and why that truth needs to be revealed. And so I'm like, I could be wrong, but I could also be right, but I could be wrong, but this is how I'm feeling. Or I will say, you know what? I don't really have an answer yet. I got to, I have to process this. I have to think about this and give me time, because if I answer now, I'm going to answer in a reactive way. And if I answer in a reactive way, it's not going to be good, because then I'm not going to be authentically myself. It's going to be spiraling into the shadows, right? It's like taking me into the chaos of my own friggin' mind, because I get tangled up in everyone's energy, and then I got to pull myself out of that and bring myself back into myself. And so what is it my truest self really truly believes? What is my truest of truths? And sometimes I have to look at all sides and all perspectives to gain a new truth. Um, and so, yeah, that 24-hour rule for me. Yeah. And that is massive for me. And the 24-hour rule and 48 to 24-hour rule for me is not saying yes to everything. So when somebody says, "Oh, we should do this," and me just automatically going, "Yes," I used to be a yes girl. I used to say yes to everything. And then I'm like, "Oh, why did I say yes? I don't even want to do that." Or it would get closer and be like, "Oh, I want to do," it's like, "Oh, so many other things have come up now, but now I've dedicated myself to this." And it's like, I don't commit to something that far out that I don't even know who I'm going to be at that time. And I will say, you know what, I have to think about that, and I have to give myself 24, 48 hours. Those key little things that you do in your life will make a difference. And we're needing those more than ever. As we come through these shifts, as I'm talking about the Saturn, as I'm talking about the Chiron energy, as I'm talking about, we have Neptune also doing its own little dance over there in Aries. We need that. And this new moon that we're coming into is going to be kind of asking us to use discernment around the 22nd, all next week. I don't know why, but all next week, I'm like really truly question some of the things that you are hearing. Like, and ask, just say, it's like, I don't know. So if it's something that comes in that just says, oh my God, the world is ending, don't just accept it, right? It's like, don't run into the frenzy. Don't get into the frenzies. Don't get caught up and get tangled up into the webs that are kind of like, it's just like this yucky kind of energy that kind of is blended in with good energy, right? And so lots happening. It's the wind is just crazy. This is actually my weekly energy update. In my weekly energy update for the week, I said, oh, I see the wind coming. Oh, it's going to get really windy. Like, there's a wind coming. It's crazy windy. Yeah. And so the wind of change also brings about, also rises emotions. And we also see emotions go up and we see emotions come down. And so we're experiencing all of that. Yeah. If I say yes and then don't want to go, I have learned to back out. I have learned to back out last minute and not feel bad. Yeah. Yeah. I really try to gauge it. So I'm like, if I'm going to commit, I try to be committed to what matters. Um, and then yes, there's times of when you got to trust your intuition. You got to trust how you're feeling. You really do. How do I feel about that? Right? How do I feel about that? Yes. Yeah. I don't want to commit to something because I don't know who and how I will be at that time. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know who I'm going to be at that during that time. I do that with clothes. Well, you know how people pick out clothes the night before? I'm like, I don't know who I'm going to be the next morning, because every single night we die. Every single night that version of us goes and a new version wakes up. And I'm like, that version of me might not even want to wear that the next day. I'm like, whoa. Like, I have to really truly, I run on having to feel everything out. Everything to me is feelers. I don't have any active Gemini in my chart, so I'm not a good actor. I'm not a good pretender at all. I I don't work well in that area. Um, I've been trying I've been trying to do this, and there is so much guilt that I need to move past. I'm so worried about people expecting to hear that yes and get upset because I cannot now. But that's a them problem. I need to I need to do it for me. Yes. Yes, it is a them problem, and it is not a you problem. And so when our lives are being led by guilt, that guilty response, and I know you know this, Lexi, that guilty response, right? That's the second response. The first response is the yes that you're saying to yourself, and then the second response is the one that we often jump into action to. And it's because we are used to always we've been programmed to respond from guilt, and we would guilt ourselves into doing something. If we feel bad, then we do it, and then we're never doing it for the right reasons at all. um, and so part of our emotional growth and emotional intelligence with that is recognizing what the true narrative of the guilt story is, and where that guilt originated from, and then look at how that guilt served somebody else or other situations, and how it served the version of you, and then recognizing that it's not serving now, and just and pulling the plug, kind of pulling the pin on that narrative and on that story, and replacing it with something else. And so if you were to replace guilt with a sense of, say, satisfaction, how satisfying it is to finally feel free of to finally feel free when I say yes to myself, to finally feel the sense of joy, happiness when I'm actually living my life for me and doing the things that I feel called to do, feeling inspired, feeling the sense of of like gratitude and grateful, and like really leveling up in those emotions, whatever the language will be. I'm just using higher frequency, higher vibrational emotions, because we're so used to running the same track, the same wheel of emotions. But we got to jump out into the broader range of emotions, right? Out in the broader range of emotions, there is all of the other emotions. And so when you realize that you've been letting yourself down more than you've been letting other people down, and you tell yourself the story of how I don't like letting people down. Oh, I don't like letting people down. Well, that's a bullshit story, because you do like letting somebody down, because you're always letting yourself down. So there's a half-hearted truth. And so when you stop letting yourself down and you start letting other people down, now we're getting to a real truth, right? And so you're not letting them down. You're still showing up for people when needed, but not at their demands or on their times and at the cost of you. And that's what I got for you. I no longer let myself be in a space where I am not valued or appreciated. Yes. Good night, Angela. Brutal. I know, Lexi. Brutal is all I got. I can't even fluff this shit up. It is just true, right? It is just true, and it's just the truth. And sometimes we, right? It's like, so when we start bringing that honesty into ourselves, we get to recognize it, as we get to see things a whole lot different. That's how we begin to change our perspective. Yeah. All right. This is what I have for everyone tonight. Um, uh, I'm going to tap out. I've been um, I've been outside. I've been everywhere all day, all weekend. I'm going to go take some downtime, and I just wanted to just stop in and just wanted to check in. I just wanted to have a conversation with you all. I miss you all. I have lots of reels out. If you're interested in you're watching my reels and you're like, I want those books. Well, go to my website. You can get the books. They're all on Amazon. All the links are directly on my website. Go check it out, as are my oracle cards, the Everyday Goddess, and these Want to Know a Secret to a Life of More Than Existing. They're both on there, and you can purchase all from there. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful night, and I will speak to you very soon. Mwah. Bye-bye. Oh, I opened up October schedule. So my October schedule is now open for one-on-one appointments as well. Forgot to mention, and we're in Camrose. Come see us in Camrose. If you're in the Camrose area, bring your friends. We have a women's event that is happening. It is wellness, wine, and woo woo. And it is happening October the 25th. And tickets are now on sale. And I'm so looking forward to it. I just can't wait to step into conversations and just bring some joy and fun and laughter. And yes, we have the bar will be open for anyone who wants to have a wine or another drink. I'm sure they'll have more there as well. But get your tickets today. They're on my website or on Eventbrite. And you can also purchase a full table if you want to do a table of 6, which would save you a little bit of money. But individual tickets are also on sale as well. So wherever you are in Alberta, you can come, because it is at the casino, the resort casino in Camrose. So you can come stay at the hotel and also hang out at the casino if you like a little bit. All right, we'll chat with you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.